Okay.
I dropped thousands of frames.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah. I thought it was you. That's why I was like, yo, man, I'm gonna give you a heads up. You might get pissed off at Comcast. But,
Oh yeah. I mean, my internet has been cutting out over and over and over again all weekend because I don't have anything else to do other than just sit here and be sick and like watch videos and like TV shows and shit. So like the internet has just been cutting out over and over and over again, and Comcast sucks. I hate Comcast so bad.
hmm. Yeah, so if anybody is, I mean, I don't really edit. I edit like Scar. He taught me well. But
Hmm.
if you guys experienced some weirdness just now, then it was because of some internet issues, some streaming issues.
Now I would typically take something like this out.
You would?
I would. There's
Well,
been times where we've had some technical issues and like anyone listening wouldn't know. I mean, people who watch this stuff live would know, but like the people listening on the podcast wouldn't know.
right.
Just keep the conversation rolling. But okay. So should I tell the story again or are we just gonna let that roll?
I don't know what got missed, so I wouldn't want to. We were just kind of like talking about True Blood, a little bit on
Yeah.
tangent.
Yeah, it's just that the sniper scene is the same, and they use the sniper scene in True Blood to explain why Bill didn't like a certain family because the guy from that family was the one caught by the snipers and led other people to die in order to try to help him, like that type of thing. But they used it base is basically the same scene as the sniper scene when they were in Vietnam, where they were just shooting that one guy and just shooting him in his arms and legs so they wouldn't kill him, but just enough for him to cry out in pain and to force them to want to help him. Um, and then like so it was the same thing.
Right.
So yeah. And then there's like a revelation later in True Blood, which is like really, really messed up. But I wouldn't. That's not something I would. I really. That's not something I would really spoil. But it's really kind of messed up. All right. So you were talking about your weekend, and then we just kind of went off on a tangent.
But yeah, it's been good. My roast was amazing. I just kind of saw. I've been wanting to make a roast for a while, and I I have a crock pot, slow cooker, or whatnot, and I just randomly saw a thing on Facebook that was this simple recipe, which was like a Memphis style, I guess, and
Hmm.
and it was pretty much how you would normally make a roast, but you would use packets, like a packet of the ranch, like where you would make your own ranch dip and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and then a packet of the au jus, like the French dip, and
All
then
Jew.
yeah, and then some pepperoncinis around it, and you just cook it for like 10 hours, and that shit was so good because it was like because that French dip is like kind of like a salty brown sugar and like a little bit of the ranch and stuff. It was like sweet and salty and just really good. I mean, so I highly recommend trying that.
Word up. I don't think I've ever made a roast.
It's
I don't.
super easy, and it's really easy. Like that's why I like crock pots, and I want to get a pressure cooker as well because it's basically a crock pot that cooks faster. But it makes making shit like that as easy as like popping some freaking chicken nuggets in the microwave. I mean,
Yeah, I really okay. No one wants to make chicken nuggets in the microwave. They're like chew. No one wants. No one wants gummy chicken nuggets.
you- what if they do? What would you call that person?
Weird. That's what I would call them. Weird. If you like gummy and chewy chicken nuggets, you are a weird person.
Would it be the same as someone who likes hamburger helper without the cheese?
Well, no, because people who don't like cheese typically go for the hamburger helper that doesn't have any cheese in it, like the stroganoff.
Right.
So like my girlfriend doesn't like cheese. But she loves the stroganoff stuff. So like
But what if
she
they
just
just made like cheeseburger macaroni hamburger helper, but just didn't put the cheese back and just had hamburger and macaroni?
that seems a bit excessive. Like at some point you just go ahead and just make something else.
Yeah.
Like if you buy hamburger helper with cheese and like you just don't put the cheese in, like you might as well just made something else. And you might as well just make that shit from scratch. Like there's no point of buying something that has cheese in it just for you to say, I'm not gonna put the cheese in. Well, you should have just bought something else.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Like
agree.
that part
I
is
don't know
just
if anybody actually did that, but I was trying to think of like weird shit that you would think.
yeah. The I will say the Velveeta like the hamburger helper joints with the Velveeta ones
Yeah.
are actually really stinking good, man. I don't do a whole lot of hamburger helper, but if I'm cooking for myself or like just me and Pooh Bear, um I will do one of those. My girlfriend doesn't like cheese, so
Right.
I can't really just make it if it's gonna be like
Yeah, it's been
something for
weird,
me and
man,
her.
because especially lately, because hamburger helper, even though it's an easy thing because you don't even have to like boil the noodles separate. You just cook everything in the same pot. But it used to be a cheap meal because a thing of hamburger helper is like $1, maybe a little bit more than $1. But hamburger is like just as expensive as other like not hamburger meats. Like my roast was it was like $14, but like per pound it was like the same as hamburger, which is like $4 a pound because it was like
Yeah,
four and a half pounds of freaking meat.
yeah, because I typically spend a little bit of extra and get like the lean
Yeah,
meat, the lean hamburger, and yes, that shit is super expensive. Just for a pound, that's like damn near $5.
yeah,
So I do understand that, but like, but what you do when you're in a situation like for your roast, you have to think about it is if I buy three things of hamburger, that's three separate meals I can make with it. For that roast, I'm only making one thing,
yeah. But yeah, you're making one thing,
but
but
I'm not huge on leftovers.
stuff. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, I'm not used on like say a leftover. I don't even know an example right now, but there's certain things that are better the next day because, like, say spaghetti, the
I wouldn't say spaghetti is better the next day. I would say,
anything to where
I'd
the
say
seasoning,
chili.
yeah,
Chili is.
chili, anything to where you have seasoning and stuff, and then also the next day it's better because everything sets and really gets soaked in there.
Yeah, because the last couple of times the last few times I made spaghetti, I will say that it has kind of been a little bit better the next day because when I make it and I, drain the noodles, put everything in, blah blah blah, whatever, the sauce is like really really thin. Like
Hmm.
it doesn't have enough time to like really like cling to everything.
Yeah,
But then afterwards, I get what you're saying. I can roll with that.
yeah, because it'll just thicken up and it'll act. I mix all my stuff together. Like I don't separate my new. Yeah, of course I cook it separate, but like when it's time to serve it, I put the sauce. Everything is a spaghetti meal. I don't
Oh yeah, yeah.
separate
I'm
it.
not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. I actually I combine. Well, I do the meat, and then I put the veggies. in with the meat. Once the meat is close to being done, I put the veggies in so I can cook the veggies, and then I put my sauce in that.
Mm-hmm.
Let that all cook together, and then once the noodles are finished, I combine it all. I'm not one of those people that's just like put the noodles on it and put the sauce over top of it. That's like a pain in the ass because I'm like this. Here's the thing. It's all going to be combined eventually anyway.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I just combine it now?
Right, and plus, if you just put a little bit of sauce on there, if you have other people that are eating with you, one person might put a whole bunch of sauce, and another person might put a little bit of sauce, and all of a sudden, you have noodles and no sauce because someone over put sauce or whatever. And also, when you put spaghetti noodles in the refrigerator without sauce on it, like, it's just so unappetizing to see noodles with that congealed look.
Yes.
So,
and then they start sticking to each other, and it's just not very good.
Yeah, but when you put the sauce in there, it don't really do that. I mean, it might do it a little bit, but not as bad. And
No,
so yeah, you want coverage on your noodles.
Yes. Why did we get this far into talking about spaghetti? I don't like, sometimes it's like, I was just thinking, like, how did we get here?
It's spaghetti, man. You gotta you gotta falafel.
Yeah, you know what? That is the show title. How did we get here? Well, I mean, listen, it goes to it's a good thing because I didn't really have much to say. Because, like I said, I've been sick. So
I played some things.
okay, what you got?
I have delved into emulation.
Okay.
And at first, I was really wanting to build one of those Raspberry Pi things, and but it was mostly for like Nintendo 64 stuff for Amber. But when I was talking to Fred, he was like, the Raspberry Pi, even though you can run 64 games in PS2, they won't run well. Like, the Pi is more for like earlier, like NES, Super NES, or arcade shit like that. So I was like, well, let me see how I can run it on here. So I got that going, like Mario 64 or whatever. I was like, how about PS2? And then the PS2 thing was absolutely the most simplest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, when it comes to something, because I have one called, it's probably the main one, it's called, oh damn, my chat's in the way, PCSX2. You just have your ISO, load it into that shit. Fucking Xbox One controller works right out of the gate, full controller support. It emulates a PS2 memory card. Everything was just so like easy, and I was like, it shouldn't be this easy. The only thing kind of programming why I did do, I started playing Persona 3, and what I did, since before my shit got stolen, I had got like at least 60 hours into that game and my shit got stolen, right? So I was like, this time I'm gonna fucking play with some badass fucking cheats. So, but to do that in this, you had to like make a certain type of file, search up Game Shark codes, and I found a whole post that had all the Game Shark codes to where I had like unlimited health, like XP is like 10,000 XP on 1 XP, so I went to like level 99 in like 2 fights, so I can just like breeze through the whole fucking thing to get like, when I realized, because I was on this boss called like the Fortune boss, and I was like, that couldn't have been that far, and it wasn't that far in that game. I looked it up, I was like, fucking October, I'm like in May. Damn, I was far in that game. So I was like, yes, I'm using fucking cheats, I don't give a shit. So I'm a fucking badass in that. But yeah, I originally played Silent Hill 2 again. That was the game that got me back into gaming from like just playing NES. Well, got me into gaming. So everything was just, it worked so well. So I've just been playing PS2 and 64 games, which is kind of weird. I look at this big old PC. I'm like, I'm using you to play fucking almost 20-year-old games.
You know what I did? I went down the rabbit hole. A long time ago, we had a discussion on the Dream Team about Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York, and that led me to find those through an emulator because, of course, you can't buy those now. Um, the only one that you could probably buy right now is like Icon, and no one likes Icon. Um, so I did that, and I was surprised at how well it actually did work at the time. I mean, it everything actually went pretty stinking smooth.
Yeah, and it's well, the emulator is legal. What's illegal technically is sharing and downloading ROMs. You know what I mean? But most companies, except for Nintendo, don't really give a shit because they're not fucking making money off that shit anyway. You
Right.
know, I mean, the whole emulation thing is like they have like cons about that shit. Like they don't care, except for Nintendo, they care because they're actually holding on to their
So,
IPs.
Nintendo got emulation shut down, right?
They got something shut down, but I
I think it
was
was emulation. I think that's where I got a lot of stuff from. Back when I was doing all of this, I got a lot of stuff from emulation because it was really simple.
mhm. And I I consider myself like somewhat not liable for anything because I'm only playing, even though I did download the ROMs, I'm playing games I own. Like I own all those games, except for Mario 64 because I've never owned a 64 at all. Amber owned it at one point, but she was like, "I want to buy
Right.
a 64."
I
Now,
don't try to justify it as fucking don't try to justify it at this point. Fuck it. Like, you want to play some old shit. It's not like it's available. They ain't even none of this shit is available even on the Switch. They don't have a fucking their back catalog. What's that shit called?
backwards
Um
compatibility.
no, like they're where you could buy those old games like on the Wii. What was it called?
Oh, wasn't it called something console? Uh,
Virtual
Virtual
console?
console.
Yeah, that none of that shit is on the Switch, except for like if you pay for the Switch service, the online service, you get a bunch of NES games, but like none of the rest of that shit is available. So like Nintendo can get as mad as fucking they want to, but it's like the iTunes thing. Like people stopped downloading shit once Apple made it easy for them to just buy it and be fucking done with it. Or like Spotify made it so that people can just pay a subscription and just fucking be able to do what they want to with it instead of having to go to all of these crazy places just to get this simple thing done.
Yeah, because
So
that's the whole thing. Is it, like companies started to. Some companies realized people are willing to pay for shit if it's available. Like it's a pain in the ass to like go through some weird site and have to like close out fucking hentai ads every time you try to download something. You know,
right.
like if all the like go back to if all the Persona games were on the PS5 or PS5, PS4, I'd own those shits and play them on the fucking PS4, but they're not. So, and the version that I'm playing on the emulator looks better than the emulated version on the PS3 that I bought. Like, I played that shit on a CRT TV just because it looked better on the CRT TV than it did on my HD
And
TV.
that's why I dig the fact that Microsoft has pretty much always done backwards compatibility. Like it's not everyone's favorite feature, but just the ability to go back and play 360 and original Xbox games. Even though there's not, especially when it comes to original Xbox games, there's not a lot. It's still better than nothing. And they just had a sale on like backwards compatible games and stuff like that. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, man. That's dope. And
Well,
then then they put some of that stuff in the Game Pass and all that kind of stuff. And I dig that. A lot of people say like, why are you wasting your time doing this? For people like me, like, you know what I mean? I went back and I rebought the Saints Row games and, you know, some of this other stuff, just to have it and just to have it digitally, so I didn't have to go to my storage unit and find the disc.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was a lot easier to do that than to just spend a couple bucks and just buy it again. When Red Dead 2 was announced, I bought Red Dead Redemption once when it became available on backwards compatibility. I just spent a little bit of money that they gave me, the you know, when they fucked up the whole what's it called? The game that they gave us for free, but it wasn't supposed to be free. Fallout 4, when they gave us Fallout 4 by accident, and then they gave us like a $10 coupon after they took it away. I just used that to pay for Red Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I mean, when you're talking about that original Xbox games, I mean, they have the ones everyone cares about. Like people think so highly of the original Xbox and the Xbox 360, but they forget all the fucking shuffleware that were on both of those systems.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
well,
the one
especially
thing I can say about this generation, you're like, oh, there's no real bangers this time, to where you're like, what is the game of this generation? It's not as easy to pick it as last generation, but there isn't as much shuffleware this time around.
I would say that's the case because all of the shovelware has been put onto the downloadable parts of each of these consoles. You want to see shovelware? Go to the store for the Switch.
Yeah,
Shovelware.
yeah, I've
Like,
heard.
you know what I mean? Like, it's bad. Like, even like I mean, out of mobile games, I don't really dig a whole bunch of mobile games, but I dig Kairosoft games. They make these little mini games, and they make my favorite mobile game dev story. But like, yeah, the same game dev story that I paid $1 for on my iPod back in the day, it's like $12 on the Switch. And
Switch
like
tax.
all of those old games are like all of those old Kairosoft games, which I've seen many. They're all like $12 each, and I'm like, bruh, I paid $1 for this, and y'all just and then like the just like the the Switch store is getting just as bad as Steam, where it's just a bunch of shit, and you're just like, how the fuck do I filter out what's actually good from all of this shit?
Right.
So, all right. So, what else you've been playing? You've been getting your emulation on.
Um, that's pretty much been it. Like, I haven't went back to Origins in a while. I just kind of got onto that. It's just been kind of refreshing. You know, kind of, because there's some, yeah, graphics are they're a thing. I mean, I think they're important. Like, people that say graphics aren't important, they're fucking talking out of their ass until they go and fucking try to play Silent Hill 1. But there is something to be said about how games were designed back then, to where they were at least in that PS2 era, like in the earlier days, people were like really nostalgic for like the Nintendo and the Sega and stuff. But back then, games were like 10 minutes long, or at least like 20 minutes long. But they took forever because there was no saves. It was just hard as balls. So at least now we're getting actual content, and I think that started around the PS2 era. And there was some really good shit in that era, I think.
I think a lot of those games, especially, you know, in that era, especially the NES era, um, they were still under the design philosophy of arcades, where the
Yeah.
game, you know, like people talk about like the Ninja Turtles game, but like, yeah, that game was designed for you to just drop quarters in. When you have unlimited continues, that game is like 45 minutes long.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because those things were designed for you to fail at some point and have to put another quarter in or
Yeah,
series of quarters.
yeah. I got a bundle on Fanatical that came with the Double Dragon trilogy, and me and
Hmm.
Aiden like got to like the last level. It's so quickly. I was like, I think this should have took us longer to get here, but here we are.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of that one, especially like one like my favorite one, which is Double Dragon 2, was like the platforming levels.
Yeah,
The
that
platform, it was just a pain in the ass. And like you die so much trying to get through that shit. And then it's like, okay, once you get it figured out and you get the timing figured out, that shit is simple. But like imagine how many quarters it would have took you to get the timing down.
yeah, we were still getting trumped on that last level of one because it had that part to where the pillars are like shooting out, and yeah, that was a bitch at first. Even now, I was like, "Fuck this,"
Right.
but I just want to shoot. I just want to punch dudes.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Um all right, so I think I played two things over the past week. Like I said, I haven't played a whole lot. I think I did play three things. I played a little bit of Division, but not really a whole lot because I just kind of got disillusioned by the raid, um, and just kind of like I just kind of fell back off it. I just don't really care about the raid, especially because people are saying how difficult it is to do on the console, and I'm just like I'm not here for difficulty. Um, but I did play a little bit of City Skylines. I'm still trying to work out my City Skylines skills and try to figure out how to do this better because I really would love to get into play a series and like really kind of go through it and like put out videos and such. I would try to stream something, but you know my internet fucking sucks. So I can't really do a whole lot of streaming, even though I think streaming something like that or RimWorld or something like that will go very very well on a stream. But I just don't have the internet that can keep up with that shit without crashing every once in a while. Um, and then I play a little bit of live. I wanted to play some. I want just kind of wanted to play something where I didn't have to do a whole bunch of thinking, like being in pain and like not feeling well. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to sit down and have to like play through the division right now. So let me just play through some live. So I put on some live, and that was a good time. It was just me. I played with the character that I had already had really established. So I was just like, you know what? This is cool. I'm in season 2, and like my character is damn near fully leveled up. You know what? I might as well just do this for a while. So I did that.
sounds good, man.
Yeah, I need to actually use my PlayStation. I have not used my PlayStation in quite some time, personally. And I bought live for the PlayStation, and I never actually did anything with it. I really need to.
What?
I really need to. I really need to just do something more with my PlayStation, and actually start over there. So that'll be. Um, do you find it weird that a lot of people are like, I don't know. I find this weird. It's a personal thing. Um, a lot of people say that their main is their PlayStation and they don't use their Xbox very often. And it's the complete opposite with me, but so many people are the other way around. And I'm like, what is it about me to whereas I'm using my Xbox and not using my PlayStation?
I don't know. I mean, that's how I was before I went kind of more the PC route, and I think it's mostly just because there's I don't know. 'Cause, I mean, you can see it either way because both systems, like an exclusive on the Xbox, is you know, is kind of hard to find right now. And then exclusive on the PlayStation are these, pretty capsulated, really good single player games that you play and then you go into something else. So I don't think it's
I don't.
really a.
I never thought that.
So you normally would pick one or the other, which one do you want to play your multiplats on, and when you buy them on that system, you just kind of stick with it because you don't want to buy it on another one because you're going to favor the other one more than the other. So I mean, it's smart to have both and then use one as exclusive machine and then the other be your multiplat. I mean, that's the cheapest way to do it,
I am not one of those people that thinks exclusives matter. I'm just not that guy.
I mean, I don't think they're going to matter once like crossplay kind of becomes a thing. They definitely matter in the old way of thinking, you know, of the hardware, because there's got to be something to get you to want to buy the system over the other one. Because it's not the hardware, because I mean, it's a console. You're not buying it for the fucking hardware. So there's
Right.
gotta be there's gotta be
Yeah.
something that draws you over there versus just your friends are over there. You know what I mean?
Right. I think for me, it's the. I think for me, exclusives don't matter because, like, when a good exclusive comes out, people play them for like a little bit, and then we all go back to playing the same third party games.
Well, yeah, you do, but if you don't have an Xbox, you can't play them at all. So you're going to get an Xbox just so you can play Halo, and you'll get the PlayStation just so you can play God of War, and then you'll pick one of them to do your multiplats on. So if God of War and Halo were on both of them, if everything come out for everything, then the console guys would have to do something more than they're doing right now to like get people to like buy their. Because I've always thought exclusive were stupid because you don't have. Well, for the Godfather, you got to have a Panasonic Blu-ray player, but for the Lord of the Rings series, you need a Sony Blu-ray player. That don't happen in anything other than fucking
Well, that
gaming.
happened. That happened with the HD DVD versus Blu-ray thing.
Well, that's a little different, but it don't happen for actual. That's more of a hardware thing, so it don't happen for actual movies. Like
Yeah.
there's not like a movie that you can only get on a certain platform unless it's a streaming service. You're not going to watch Stranger Things on Hulu, you know. But
Right.
that's kind of similar, I guess. But you're
Yeah.
not paying $500 for a Netflix box too.
Right.
There. I mean, what differences in a Fire Stick versus a Roku? Like, there's certain features that they'll do to make people want the other one more. They're not going to say, well, this service is only on this, that, because the fucking Amazon's on the Roku as well. They know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Roku's not gonna be like, we're not gonna be on your thing, and Amazon's not gonna be like, we're not gonna be on your thing because money's money.
Yeah. It's just weird. Um, I just don't feel it, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think they kind of matter right now, but I just don't like it. Like you say, they don't matter. I just say I don't like it. I've never liked, even if I had both systems. I just think it's really shitty that an Xbox only owner can never play the new God of War, or a PlayStation owner can't play, you know, Halo.
I think the older I get, the more I want the one console future to happen.
Yeah.
Like I would rather have one thing.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
too.
I would rather have one thing and I could just do what I need to.
I mean, it would kind of be like how PC is now, to where like you would get a box, and then you would
But
download a launcher for Xbox and a launcher for Sony, and you just play all the games there.
yeah, but then people are just gonna complain about that like they are doing for PC right now.
Yeah, I know people. Well, people are going to complain about
The whole
everything.
launcher thing is fucking
Have you
stupid.
ever seen, I mean, a Facebook post about anything coming out and there not be at least one laughing emoji? Everybody hates everything. And I'm not saying laughing is like a hate, but yeah, mostly when they're putting that laughing thing, they're like, oh yeah, this is so stupid. It's not, this is funny. Every Destiny post, every Division post, every Anthem post, every whatever post about anything, there's always a laughing symbol. Because
Mhm.
everybody just thinks everything's a joke and everybody just hates on everything. And that's
Yeah.
and it's actually not everybody. It's, if you actually look at that, it only takes one. Look at how many likes versus hearts versus laughing versus angry. The laughing and angry are the smallest one, but they get shown too.
It's just kind of it's all just kind of dumb. Especially when you separate yourself from all of that and you're on the outside looking in, it's all just kind of dumb.
Yeah, especially when you come to realize, hey, I'm repping for a team that don't give a shit about me. Like Sony and Microsoft don't give a shit about you.
Not at all.
So fucking buy whatever's cheapest. When you can afford the other one, get that. Or if you want to just go the PC route, do that. Do whatever. It's fucking video games. It's not that serious.
No, it's not. Like I don't think I've ever truly been that serious about this. I mean, I used to be very anti Sony, because I
It's
have
because of Pearl
never
Harbor, isn't it?
no, I have never had a I have up until I'm guessing. Well, I used to say up until my PS3, I had never had a Sony product that didn't break. But my PS3 is broken, so like the only thing that's left is my PS4. I have never owned a Sony product that didn't break at some point.
Hmm.
So that kind of explained my process. And like trying to get Sony products fixed, like especially consoles, used to be fucking terrible. I mean, what I had to get my I had to get my PS1 fixed, and it cost me just as much as I paid for it to actually get my PlayStation fixed.
Hmm.
I should have just bought another one, but at the time I had already hustled enough candy to have another one. So I did have two. So it wasn't bothering me to send this thing off, but I could have just bought another one instead of getting that fixed.
Right.
So I think this is a good place to wrap up. Oh, I want to mention the two TV shows that I watched. I watched season 3 of Into the Badlands. It is on Netflix. I really like that show.
That's that
Um,
one you were watching when we first started podcasting, right? Were when I first come on the show, to where it was like swords and shit.
yes, it is a post. It is past the modern age of now, and it's in it's in a future where everything kind of reverted and there's no guns or stuff like that. There are representations of like our world,
Mm-hmm.
like some things like buildings and stuff like that, or things that are referenced, and they just reference that as the old world. But it's very is kind of like if something happened to our society and um the country was basically broken up into more of a feudal system. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is like somebody brought feudal Japan into our country.
Right.
So it's really good. But it's gotten into some places where, I mean, the fighting is it I mean, it's just impeccably good. Like, it's really stinking good. But like every time you get to the end of a season, it's such a cliffhanger that I just kind of like, I would hate to be the one to watch this on actual TV and have to wait week to week in order to just get left fucking hanging when the season is over. That would really piss me off. Like, I mean, that would totally piss me off. So, um, so like your mileage may vary. I think it's better to binge it like how I did. Um, and it works out a little bit better for me. Now, the other show that I watched is a show that was currently on TV called The Enemy Within, and it was just something that I just kind of came across on Hulu. Um, and is about, you know, espionage and trying to stop terrorists and all of that kind of stuff. And it's like, oh, excuse me, most of it is typical spy, you know, FBI drama. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of cues to the blacklist in this.
It sounds like something that would be along the lines of that Will Smith movie.
Enemy of the State.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because this takes the perspective of the FBI, and um they're trying to catch a specific terrorist dude, but like this one lady who used to be a CIA agent, and she's considered a traitor because she got some other CIA agents killed, but they basically have to bring her in order for them for to get her help in order to catch this guy who was a terrorist and keeps doing basically almost every episode is some sort of domestic terrorism plot that they need to stop, all orchestrated by this one guy.
Hmm.
So I you know what, I will say I enjoyed it. I Is one of those things to where is if it wasn't something that just popped up on Hulu and I was just like, you know, it looked interesting, but I don't, you know, this ain't really my type of shit. But like, you know, me and my girl watched it and I think we dig it.
You still watching the thing about the girl in the wheelchair?
Oh, that's finished.
Oh, okay.
That's finished, and apparently that's going to be an anthology series. So is the next season is going to be a completely separate, you know, storyline or whatever. That, you know, that was just the first season and that's ended. So I you know what, I enjoyed that. I think there was some pieces of it that they left out. Some of it I understand why they left it out. Like, you know, when they killed her mom, they, you know, they went in the room next door and then kind of had sex after mom got stabbed. You know, like just stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's some things that probably should have been left out, but I thought it was actually pretty well done.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the two things that I have watched. Well, there's two things that I watched more than anything else over this past weekend, especially this weekend. I watched the whole season of Badlands. I watched that whole season this you know, the last 2 or 3 days. I watched that whole season.
Hmm.
So it's just one of those things. But actually, hold on. Let me see. I think. Wait a minute. I think what the cliffhanger. I don't think they put the whole season. I don't think they put the whole season of the third season onto Netflix. I think it was the first half of the season. That's why it was cut off like that. Okay, so now that makes a whole lot more sense. The way that it just kind of stopped like that. I think it was the first half of the season. So okay, so that makes me feel better about it because I'm like, the way that this ended, I'm not sure I dig this.
Right.
But yeah. All right. So anything else you got?
Nope.
All right. Well, I don't think I have much of anything either. Just uh, we thank y'all for listening to the show. We also thank y'all for listening to Casual Conversation by the Digicast. New episode went up today, and we appreciate you checking that show out, and go out and check the Digicast main feed. They have other shows over there that are kind of separate from these, but we're all just kind of collaborating and just kind of doing our thing. The downloads are still pretty good, surprisingly. Because somebody never actually recorded their solo show. I'm not gonna say who.
It was Sam, wasn't it?
Nah.
Sam hasn't recorded his.
Yeah, but like no one is expecting Sam to do his. We're expecting you to do yours. You said you were going to do it, and you had a month to get it done, and you haven't done it. A month.
I like to keep people on the edge of their seats.
We don't want to be on the edge of our seats.
This is a thriller from 1999. I don't know. Scarcasm.
Really? Okay, fine. So again, thank everybody. Thank you to everybody for checking us out. We very much appreciate y'all. Hopefully, I'll get to do more once I start feeling better. So I have more things to talk about. I have a bunch of paintings that I have to do, and I actually did the paintings for. I actually did painting for the contest winner. I did paintings for my coworker, which the color the colors of the last one are kind of weird.
Hold up.
What happened? Did you break something again?
All right, go ahead. We good?
No. I was just what happened?
It just went red again. We're good now. It's green.
Okay. I just wanted to say, like, I've been doing some painting, but not as much as I would prefer. So that's just gonna take some time. But I did do the paintings for Cam, who won the contest on the YouTubes, and man, we just got more stuff for you. So
Yeah.
thank y'all again. We appreciate y'all being here for us to be able to do this for you. So
And shout out to Fred Rojas because he has helped me out a lot with this whole emulation thing.
my man Rojas. Shout out to Rojas. We need to have Rojas on. We need to bring Rojas on. We also need to get Will on. There's a couple people that we need to get on.
Yeah.
All right. So until we get everybody on, we're gonna say peace out to the Warriors, yo. And we're out of here. This is Scarcasm.
Later.